Ladies, let me tell you something truly important. When a man wrongs you, your gut reaction might be to cry, yell, send angry texts, or post dramatic messages online. And honestly, who could blame you? It's natural to feel hurt, betrayed, and want him to understand the pain he's caused. But what if I told you there's a far more powerful, unexpected move you can make? One that doesn't just confuse him, but utterly disarms him. I'm not talking about playing childish mind games or sending mixed signals. No, I'm talking about a move that men are absolutely not prepared for, because it flips the script entirely. They expect emotional fireworks, tears, or a fight for their attention. They are completely caught off guard by a woman who moves with unshakable grace, profound silence, and an almost superhuman level of self-control. This isn't just about getting even. It's about reclaiming your power in a way he never saw coming. And it's something every single one of you, especially you, deserves to know. You see, men are so used to women reacting emotionally when they mess up. They anticipate the tears, the shouting, the long messages, or even the public drama on social media. They brace themselves for that kind of response. But what they are never ready for is a woman who chooses not to react in any of those predictable ways. They are not prepared for a woman who moves with calm dignity and a quiet strength. When a man hurts you, your first natural instinct is to respond with a burst of emotion. And I completely understand why. You're upset, you feel betrayed, and you genuinely want him to grasp the depth of his hurtful actions. However, giving him that immediate emotional reaction is actually handing him power. It signals to him that he still has control over your feelings, and the moment a man realizes he can still press your buttons and elicit a strong response, he knows he still has a grip on you. This is precisely why the real move, the truly effective way to confuse him, is to respond, not just react. There's a crucial difference here. Reacting is instant, it's emotional, it's often unfiltered and impulsive. But responding, that's control, that's intentionality, that's power. Instead of engaging in an argument, you move with deliberate silence. Instead of typing out a lengthy message detailing all the ways he hurt you, you simply let your absence speak volumes. Instead of feeling the need to constantly prove your worth, you quietly remember your worth and carry yourself like a woman who absolutely refuses to be disrespected. And let me tell you, men are just not built to handle that kind of energy. They can deal with yelling, with arguments, with tears, because those are signs that you still care enough to fight for them, to fight with them. But what genuinely shakes a man to his very core is a woman who removes herself from the nonsense, from the chaos he created, and simply carries on with unwavering dignity. That woman becomes unpredictable, she becomes a mystery, and in that mystery, she is profoundly powerful. Imagine this scenario. He calls or texts you after hurting you, fully expecting a back-and-forth argument, maybe even a plea, but instead, you hit him with a calm, concise message. "I appreciate the clarity you've given me. Take care." And then, you move on. No chasing him down, no questioning his motives, no begging for an explanation, and certainly, no attempt to win him back. You simply let him sit with that. You let him wonder how you could walk away so easily. You let him overthink why your focus is entirely on yourself. Because here's the key. Men learn through experience, not through endless explanations. You don't have to explain his wrongdoings to him 100 times. You don't have to prove your worth by validating yourself to him. The moment he realizes you're not reacting, that you're not playing his game, that you are elevating yourself instead of engaging in his drama, that's when the realization truly hits him. That's when he starts thinking, did I just lose something genuinely great? Trust me, that's a far more potent lesson than any argument could ever be. When a man hurts you, he often expects you to crumble. He's already convinced himself that you needed him more than he needed you. He assumes his absence will devastate your world, that you'll fall apart, and that you'll wait endlessly for him to come crawling back. But what he absolutely does not expect is for you to rise higher, to become an even better version of yourself without him. This is precisely why the best possible thing you can do is to focus intensely on your glow-up, instead of getting trapped in the pain he inflicted. Men operate largely on ego. They believe they are the center of your universe. So when they walk away or do you wrong, they fully expect to see evidence that their absence has left a gaping hole in your life. That's why they often check your social media, ask mutual friends about you, or suddenly resurface with a casual, just checking in text. They're searching for signs that you miss them, that you're still hurting, that you're still waiting. But when a man looks your way and sees that you're not just surviving, but actively thriving instead of suffering, Oh, that confuses him like nothing else on earth. This is why you don't waste a single moment trying to make a man regret losing you. Your only goal is to make sure that when he eventually looks in your direction, he sees a woman who has undeniably leveled up. Work on yourself. Hit the gym, not for revenge, but because you love yourself enough to care for your body. Chase your dreams with even more passion, not to make him jealous, but because your future truly deserves that dedicated energy. Upgrade your style, refine your confidence, and intentionally surround yourself with people who truly value you and make you feel incredible. Because when you truly invest in yourself, when you pour into your own growth and well-being, you naturally become the kind of woman who commands respect without uttering a single word. And here's what inevitably happens when you glow up. Suddenly, he starts remembering exactly why he was drawn to you in the first place. He begins to realize that he took something truly special for granted. And it's not just about a physical transformation, it's about the powerful magnetic energy you now carry. A woman who deeply knows her worth walks differently, she talks differently, and she doesn't beg for love, she effortlessly attracts it. When he sees that, when he witnesses you having completely detached from the idea that he was necessary for your happiness, he genuinely won't know what to do with himself. This is the profound power of the glow up. It's not about him at all, it's fundamentally about you. It's about consciously choosing to elevate yourself rather than sinking into pain and despair. It's about proving to yourself, not to him, that you are more than enough on your own. Because the honest truth is, nothing is more attractive, more compelling, than a woman who is truly unbothered, unapologetic, and absolutely unstoppable in her pursuit of a better life. And when a man finally grasps that he was never the actual source of your happiness in the first place, that's when he truly comprehends the immense loss he created for himself. Men expect drama, they expect anger, they expect a reaction that confirms they still have a psychological grip on your emotions. That's why when a man does you wrong, the single most powerful move you can make is to choose peace. Not out of weakness, and not because you're avoiding confrontation, but because peace is the one thing he is entirely unprepared to handle. When you remain calm in the face of disrespect, when you steadfastly refuse to give in to the chaos he attempted to bring into your life, it does something profound to a man's mind. It forces him to question himself and his actions. You see, men don't typically sit and reflect when you're yelling at them. They don't suddenly realize their mistakes while you're sending long, detailed messages explaining how they hurt you. But when you consciously step back, when you detach, when you stop engaging altogether, that silence compels him to deal with himself. He has no other choice but to sit with the full weight of his own actions. A man will always remember the woman who walked away with genuine dignity, not the one who begged, not the one who argued, not the one who desperately tried to force him to see her worth, but the one who simply removed herself and allowed her absence to speak volumes. That's because peace is inherently unsettling to a man who thrives on control. When he can no longer drag you into his drama, when he sees that you're not chasing him for closure or attention, he begins to lose his entire sense of power. And nothing confuses a man more than the chilling realization that he no longer has access to the emotions he once so easily manipulated. When you choose peace, you fundamentally shift the entire dynamic. Instead of being reactive, you become intentional. Instead of trying to prove your worth to him, you remember your inherent worth for yourself. And when you do that, something incredibly powerful unfolds. You free yourself. You stop carrying the heavy burden of trying to change a man who was never willing to change for you. You stop pouring your precious energy into someone who took you completely for granted. You redirect all that invaluable energy back into yourself, into your healing, into building your own happiness. And here's the clincher. When a man witnesses that you have found true peace without him, it makes him question absolutely everything. He starts to wonder why you're not angry, why you're not fighting, why you're not actively seeking his attention. And that's when it profoundly hits him. You've truly moved on. You've discovered something far greater than his validation. You've found yourself. Choosing peace doesn't imply that you didn't care or that you weren't hurt. It means you respect yourself enough not to allow someone else's hurtful actions to steal your inner joy. It means you trust that what's genuinely meant for you will never require you to beg, chase, or compromise your precious dignity. And when you master that profound understanding, you become truly untouchable. Because a peaceful woman is a woman who no longer allows anyone to disrupt the deep love she has for herself. When a man does you wrong, the very natural instinct is to try to prove a point, to show him exactly what he lost, to ensure he realizes the massive mistake he made. But the honest truth is, you don't have to do anything at all to prove your worth to someone who took it for granted in the first place. The real, undeniable power move is to walk away as if you were never even fazed, and then let your life speak for itself. Because here's what most people don't quite understand: distance is the loudest, most impactful message you can ever send. When a man believes he still has some hold on you, he fully expects to see signs that you're struggling without him. He searches for them. He wonders if you're still talking about him, if you're stalking his social media, if you're asking mutual friends about him. And the very second he picks up on that desperate energy, he knows he still occupies a place in your heart. But when he gets absolutely nothing, no anger, no begging, no desperate attempts to keep him tethered to your life, it completely shakes him to his core, because that's when he realizes he's lost all access to you, and that is a feeling no man is ever truly prepared for. This is precisely why walking away without making a scene is the absolute greatest way to confuse a man who hurt you. While he's fully expecting you to fall apart, you're over there meticulously putting yourself back together. While he's waiting for you to reach out, you're far too busy leveling up your life to even spare a thought for him. And by the time he finally realizes the incredible person he truly had, you are already so far ahead in life that you genuinely don't even care whether he regrets it or not. This is why silence holds such immense power. It forces profound reflection. It forces painful realization. It forces a man to truly come to terms with what he lost, without you ever having to utter a single word. And when he finally starts to grasp the profound impact of his actions, when he realizes he let go of something genuinely rare, something immensely valuable, something he may never find again, that's when it truly hits him. Not because you explicitly told him, not because you desperately tried to show him, but because you completely removed yourself and you let cold, hard reality do all the talking. No explanations, no second chances, no endless back and forth. Just a woman who inherently knows her worth and adamantly refuses to entertain anything that doesn't completely align with it. And when you move with that kind of unshakable conviction, there's nothing more powerful, nothing more confusing to him, and absolutely nothing more unforgettable. Men often believe they have unlimited time. Time to play their games, time to take you for granted, time to come back whenever they feel like it. They assume that no matter what they do, you'll always be there, patiently waiting, optimistically hoping, clinging to the idea that one day they'll finally get their act together. But what they utterly fail to realize is that a smart woman, a woman who deeply knows her worth, is not waiting around for anyone else to decide when she deserves to be treated right. She is not offering unlimited chances. She is not sitting by the phone, hoping he'll magically wake up and finally see her true value. She has already gracefully moved forward, long before he even comprehends the depth of what he truly lost. That is what genuinely shakes a man to his core. The moment he finally understands that you were never just an option, you were the opportunity. And instead of begging him to treat you right, instead of trying to prove that you were worthy of his love, you simply took your power back. You see, a man expects to come and go as he pleases. He assumes that even if he hurts you, he can always return, because in his own mind, he's convinced himself that you'll always harbor a soft spot for him. And most of the time, sadly, that's exactly what happens. Until, that is, a woman finally decides that she is completely done playing that game. That's when the dynamic profoundly shifts. That's when true panic begins to set in, because a man who believes he has all the time in the world will invariably take you for granted. But a man who suddenly realizes he's completely out of time, that's when intense regret truly hits him. That's when he starts frantically thinking about all the things he should have done differently. That's when he starts seeing you in the radiant, powerful way he should have seen you from the very beginning. But by then, it's far too late. By then, you are no longer the woman who would have taken him back. You are no longer the woman who sits anxiously by the phone, hoping he'll change his mind. You are the woman who has grown magnificently past him, who has healed completely, who has elevated to a level he can no longer even reach. This is precisely why men always come back when you've finally moved on. Not when you cry, not when you argue, not when you try to force them to see their mistake, but when you genuinely no longer care, when your energy is completely unattached from them, when you become so profoundly focused on yourself, your happiness, and your future that their absence no longer affects you in the slightest. That's when it profoundly hits them that they completely miscalculated, But by the time he finally realizes he lost a truly good woman, you've already blossomed into a magnificent one. And that's the beautiful thing about time. You don't waste it on people who don't recognize your worth. You don't give it to someone who doesn't deeply value you. Because the very moment you take your precious time, your vital energy, and your boundless love away from the wrong person, you automatically create an expansive space for the right one to find you. And that's when you truly, genuinely win. One of the biggest mistakes people make after getting hurt is believing that revenge will bring them closure. They think that if they can make the other person feel the exact same pain, if they can effectively show them what they lost, if they can somehow make them regret their actions, they'll finally feel satisfied. But the difficult truth is, revenge doesn't actually heal you. It only keeps you deeply connected to the very person who initially broke you. And the longer you stay emotionally tied to that negative energy, the longer you inevitably delay your own profound peace. When someone wrongs you, your immediate instinct might be to get back at them, to show them they didn't break your spirit. Perhaps you consider posting something on social media to ignite their jealousy, flirting with someone new just to prove a point, or even attempting to make them experience the same kind of pain they inflicted on you. But in reality, all of those actions merely demonstrate that they still possess power over you. Because if you truly didn't care, if you had genuinely moved on, you wouldn't be preoccupied with getting even. You'd be far too busy authentically living your best life. The real flex is peace. Not because you're weak, not because you're allowing them to get away with what they did, but because you intimately understand that your energy is far too valuable to waste on someone who never truly appreciated it in the first place. When you choose peace, you decisively take back control. You make a firm decision that you will not let someone else's actions dictate your happiness. You make a conscious choice to put yourself first, to fiercely protect your mental and emotional well-being, to walk away without carrying corrosive resentment. And let me tell you something important. That is what truly confuses a person who foolishly believed they had the power to deeply hurt you. Because people expect a dramatic reaction, they expect anger, bitterness, pettiness. That's what they are completely ready for. But when you don't give them that, when you refuse to engage, when you don't allow their toxic actions to shift your positive focus, they begin to question everything. They start to wonder why you're so genuinely unbothered, why you're not frantically trying to prove a point, why you're not caught up in the same messy drama they tried to pull you into. And that's when they painfully realize that they never had as much control over you as they confidently thought. Choosing peace isn't about ignoring your valid feelings or pretending you weren't deeply hurt. It's about making a profound decision that your healing journey is far more important than holding on to negativity. It's about truly understanding that what's genuinely meant for you will never require you to lose yourself in the process. It's about creating ample room for better, more positive things in your life by courageously letting go of people who clearly don't deserve a place in it. Because at the end of the day, true power isn't found in revenge. It's in the quiet, powerful knowledge that you confidently walked away from something that no longer served you, and you never, ever looked back. And when you move like that, when you carry yourself with grace instead of anger, you don't just heal, you beautifully elevate. And that, my dear, is a level most people will never, ever be able to reach.